Hey, this is Krista Ayne, and you're listening to the Paulie Z Show.
Yo, 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 welcome back to the Paulie Z Show. This is episode number 40. It's a milestone. And today I have two guests. I actually have really one guest and a co-host. And my co-host is my brother Dave. Hey, Dave.
Woohoo! I feel like Robin Quivers. Oh, yeah.
Just not as hot and with no boobies.
That's right.
And Dave's going to help me co-host today. And, a lot of people say they like when I have Dave and Joe on because there's we just have that natural chemistry, obviously being in a band and being on the road together all the time. The timing is cool, and we, kill each other and pretty much just try to find any reason we can to degrade each other or just chop each other down. So it should be interesting. And but today we actually have a great guest on the show, and it's perfect because this girl, first of all, she's gorgeous. We know that. She's talented. And but one thing we all have in common is that she was on Z-Rock, and that's how we met her.
Well, technically, she was on me on Z-Rock.
That is true. She was on David on Z-Rock. That's how we met her. And then we found out all the other wonderful things that she's done. Her name is Krista Ayne, and I think we have her on the line. Yay, Krista, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great on this absolutely beautiful day.
Yes, it is very nice, and it's been really nice this summer, right? We've had great weather.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, shouldn't we have done this podcast on the beach today?
Yes,
with Krista Ayne in her bikinis and us in our European speedos.
I'm actually in a bikini right now.
Are you? Hold on. Everything just fell.
Did I not call it?
Are you really in a bikini right now?
I swear to God, because when I was done, I was going to go take the sun on the roof. So I'm like, I'll just put a bikini on.
But you know what's funny? Here's the funny thing, and don't take this the wrong way, but because, like when you haven't seen a girl naked, and that's all you can think about. And then, because I went to art school, so when I drew women, and I had to draw men too, but when I drew women and they were standing there, it's like once you see them, it's like, oh, okay, and then that's it. And, you were on Z-Rock pretty much naked already. So we already got the visual. So it's like, you got to do something better than a bikini now. You got to...
You know what? I'll take the visual again. Thank you very much.
I'm like, wait a second. I know what's under that. But, well, first of all, let's, before we talk about all the other stuff that you've been doing, I want to get your opinion. Well, first, how did you get Z-Rock? Well, I don't even know. How did you get to be on the show?
Let me think. Oh, I know. Someone told me about the casting, and then I just went, and then when I wasn't really sure exactly what the part was, and when I went in, I was like, oh my God, I'm so not booking this. I'm not old enough to be in MILF. There's no way. And what was cool about the casting was it was all improv. So they just gave us the scenario, and we got to go in and do whatever we wanted to do, and I booked it. I think they called me the next day.
Well, it's interesting that you said that you weren't sure what the part was, because I don't think they knew what the part was either, because the whole show was improv. You didn't really know until you got on set what it was going to be. You kind of had the general basis of it, but then everything else was kind of, go as you went.
Well, what did you have to do when you actually auditioned? Can you explain what they had you do? Did you have to act like you were the groupie and then they, just give me the details.
What they did was they had two of us go in the room at a time, and they would have us just talk about how cool it was to be at this show, and I hope our husbands never find out, and just stuff like that. They basically just told us the scenario that you're here and you're a MILF groupie, and just take it away. So we would just talk about the night, and I don't remember exactly what we said, but I guess it was realistic because I booked it.
But it's two things. It's interesting you said as far as your age, because it was supposed to be MILFs, and you guys were so, young and hot. It was a little far-fetched, but I guess because it was a young enough kid, that I guess it could be real. But,
Let me ask you this.
Well, exact age-wise, that I could have had that kid, but for some reason when I think of MILF, even though all it has to be is a mother, but for some reason I just think of someone that's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but even when we described it, because, again, for people who don't know, we used to do children's parties for real, and a lot of the moms weren't really older. They were usually younger than us.
Yeah,
You know?
that was weird.
Yeah.
The weird thing was when we were doing parties and the mom was like a couple years younger and had 2 kids already. It was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong in our life right now that I'm still eating cereal for dinner and you've got 2 kids?
Very true. Let me ask you this: did they actually did they tell you that you guys would have to be nude for the scene?
They said that it was topless, I believe. So,
And you were fine.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it, but they just said it's like a topless scene, but it's done very tastefully and it's a comedy. So.
But before that, I mean, I know a little bit of the history of the stuff you've done. You were already working with Penthouse before that, right? So or was it around the same time?
I did when I was like 19, and then Penthouse after that. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely not a big deal. It is different when you're in print nude and when you're in video and when you're on video, just because it just comes off different. And when you're at a photo shoot and it's like a gradual process, it's not a big deal. Unlike us, who it's like, hi, good morning, 7 a.m. Okay, everyone get naked.
Yeah.
But that's kind of commonplace for us.
Krista. Okay, get naked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, see, we're used to that anyway in our real life, so it wasn't very
Well,
different.
good for you.
So. And then let's continue on. So then you did Z-Rock, and we actually talked about. Remember, me and you, we were talking about trying to write you in to come back. That you had David's baby.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, and it never happened, but that would have been a cool storyline. That and then we had to deal with all that because for people that don't know, you were the sister of Harry Bronstein, who was the big record producer or executive that we were trying to impress when we did his kids' party. And then Dave, we meet you at a ZO2 gig, and we think you're just random groupies, and we have fun afterwards, and then we see you at the birthday party the next day. So that's basically the gist of what that episode was. So I thought it would have been cool.
And that was episode 1 of season 1.
Very first episode. So, and
you know what's great about that? It's very funny when people talk to us about the show. They always go, "Wow, it's so edgy and it's so raunchy and it's so crazy." But if you really look at it, other than maybe one other scene in the entire season, there's not really that much more nudity. But I think because it started off that way with you guys, you kind of set the tone for the entire season.
Yeah, but even other parts of that episode, because you're in like the bathroom with his wife, and like that was a very sexually charged episode.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That I think that one episode set the tone for the whole series because it is funny when you look at it. It really is not. I actually was pushing for more.
Yeah,
I was like, "Where's the nudity? Where are the boobies?"
Well, I think also it was the juxtapositioning of that with having kids around. Yeah. So immediately your mind kind of goes to a taboo place where you're like, "What is going on? I'm seeing boobs, and then I'm seeing little kids. That doesn't really fit."
So I think it set the tone. But how was your experience? I mean, did you enjoy doing it?
Oh my God, it was so fun. First of all, I love when they let you improv and they kind of, give you the choice to be creative. And as long as you stay with the storyline, I think that that's amazing because I filmed other things and they were like 99% on the book. And they would get really mad because they feel like that writers get offended if you start changing their lines. Although I think that people should say their line as the character did. So that was one thing about the show that was different than any other project I worked on. We were just able to be creative and act exactly how we would.
And it actually worked out because the line that I hear all the time is when you came up to me and you commented on my great, wonderful, fantastic, maybe I'm adding some adjectives, but balls.
It's like you've got, for people that don't know, there was a scene where we didn't know she was going to say this, and we're like, talking to them, and it was you and the other girl, and Krista Ayne goes to David and goes, "Oh, by the way, you've got great balls." And Dave's like, "Thank you."
Well, the reaction that you got literally was a real reaction. I forgot that there were cameras.
Because, the producers and everyone was like, "You have to say this," and I'm like, wait, but he doesn't know. They're like, yeah, but that's the point. Like, we have to get, I know. And you were just like, thank you.
That's a nice compliment. I thank you again.
She, just so you know, she didn't mean it. They paid her to say that. You don't have great balls. Not that I would know, but I've heard.
You're right. I have wonderful balls.
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
So then, so tell us.
No, but that day I had blue balls.
Oh, probably. So, all right, that's a good way to move away from this. Dave's the master of ending a subject distastefully. Let's move on to the next thing. So your next project, I know, well, one of the things was a show called Life on Top, but before that, you did the Daily Show also, right? You were a host?
Yes, I did one episode where I guess I was like the Vanna White of a segment that they were doing. It was really fun.
And then you went on to do Life on Top, which was a whole series. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is my take on it. It was kind of like a more mature, like almost like NC-17 or rated R version of Sex in the City, kind of. Like, because Sex in the City had nudity and stuff, but this was even more.
Yeah, well, this is the like Cinemax After Dark, so they're definitely allowed to push it as much as they can. I mean, even the producers would fight with them to try to get less like love scenes and less nudity, because we did have a storyline going that I don't know how many people actually pay attention to it.
I paid attention.
To the storyline?
I paid attention to it. Well, I you know what it is with stuff like that?
Wait.
Hold on. I paid attention, but I can only pay attention to 5 minutes of story until everyone starts having sex, and then I change the channel, and the next day I watch the next 5 minutes of the story. So it takes me about a week and a half to watch a whole episode, but I do watch it.
Well, you know what? Actually, come to think of it, I have a bone to pick with you about that. How come you never called me to be on that show?
I was going to say, no pun intended.
No, that would be a boner to pick with you. No, I figure it this way. Look, you owe me. You were naked on my show. Now I should be able to be naked on your show.
That is true.
I know. I mean, I wish I didn't even know how the casting process even went on. To be honest, when I first booked the job, I declined it because I just wasn't sure if it was the way that I wanted to go. And the producer said to me, what if we send you the whole entire script, like all 13 episodes? I was like, okay. At least I felt like I owed that to them. So I sat there and I went through it within like, an hour, and I really, really fell in love with my character, and I called them and I was like, okay, I'll do it. Because they had already recast my part, and then they came back to me and they just said that they really, really wanted me to like.
So you took the job. You took the job away from someone, huh?
Well, no, I booked it,
right,
and then I declined it, and then they cast someone else, but they really weren't that thrilled with her.
She was technically the rebound girl then.
Right. You broke up with them, then they got a rebound, and you say, okay, I changed my mind, I want to go out again. They're like, okay, I'll take it back. Sorry, babe.
Now here's Now the casting process on that, how different was that from Z-Rock? I mean, did they just have you read lines, or did they actually have to physically see you, act out some of these sex scenes?
You don't have to act them out. They have you read lines, and then they needed a picture of you. I don't think it wasn't like completely naked, but maybe just like topless and in like underwear, just from the front and the back, because they have to see what you look like, obviously.
Right, but they didn't have you do that in person for the cameras?
No, because I think that might have like scared people away if they did.
Right.
Because let me tell you, it was like scary, like the first love scene. Although it's fake, and there's very small pieces of material in between you, but there are pieces of material.
Right.
And but it's nerve-wracking, so I don't know if people would be so into it if they had to do it at the audition.
Well, it's funny though, because it seems like, well, I mean, maybe it's just because I watch a lot of HBO, but it seems like shows like that, networks like HBO and A&E and Showtime, like it's becoming more commonplace. It's not as, when you watch a show like True Blood or Hung, I mean, it's like basically
True Blood.
Yeah.
Well, it's all kind of soft porn, but the question I have is, I'm surprised because how do they know that people won't, like we actually had this problem on Z-Rock where they would tell them in the auditions that they have to be topless or semi-nude, and when they would get to the filming, they'd run into problems because the girls would start to get a little nervous.
Remember my girl, Krista? You basically had to like talk her down from the ledge. The girl that was the girl that I was supposed to be hooking up with in the van, the blonde girl. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, she was so like, she's like, I don't want to like put. First of all, she couldn't take direction. Like every time they kept telling her to you got to have your head down, lower. You're in the camera.
Paul's not that big, lower.
And then, but she was like really like, and they kept saying it's like we explain that this is what you were going to do, and then she was like, yeah, blah 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 blah. So you were very helpful because you were able to like calm her down and kind of make us like, yeah, let's just have fun.
Well, I mean, it's also like it's a professional environment. You're not. I mean, even porn sets are a professional environment, but you're not on the set of a porn, so it's completely different. I mean, it's a show on IFC, like it wasn't that big of a deal, and they really did explain what we would have to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was asking. That's why I thought for a show like you were doing, Life on Top, I thought that they would have the people do something in camera just to show that they're able to do it and they're not maybe as scared. Yeah. But I assume, I mean, I guess like what you're saying, once you're actually on set, it's probably a different vibe than doing it for an audition room full of people just watching.
Well, it is. And usually, for the most part, people know what they're going into. I mean, it's Cinemats After Dark. If you don't know what kind of scenes you're going to be doing, just put on one of the other shows and it'll show you exactly. It's very routine. Like they have like a formula that they've been going by forever since these shows have started, and that's that. You know, if you don't feel comfortable doing what you see, then these shows are not for you.
Well, HBO, same thing. I mean, if I was ever to audition for an HBO show, I know that I'm at some point going to be naked. You know what I mean? Or topless at least. I mean, you know, because you know what their style is already. So it's like you got to be prepared for that.
Well, how about that reminds me of a funny story. When we were shooting one of the scenes from Z-Rock, there were some of the people, because I don't know if people know this, but Z-Rock was also sponsored by Starz, or was owned by Starz as well as IFC. And I remember they were talking about filming their next show, which was going to be an original series called Spartacus. And I remember talking to the people at Starz going, hey, I'd like to do that. Lo and behold, when Spartacus actually came out, there's more male nudity than there is female nudity.
And gay stuff.
Gay stuff all around.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So I was like, ooh, I dodged a bullet on that one.
Do you watch, Krista, do you watch True Blood by any chance?
Yes, I do. I'm behind this season just for like scheduling reasons, but I think I have to just dedicate a whole entire day to just like catching up. But yes, it's definitely it's probably the only show that I can say I'm a fan of at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good. I like it because it hits on all levels. It's got the fantasy, the drama, the comedy, the action, everything. And obviously the edginess. But I was just gonna say I guess you haven't seen it yet, but I don't want to spoil anything. But there's Lafayette hooks up with someone, like, he befriends someone, and there's a lot of guy making out and, touchy feely.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah. They keep pushing it. I mean, it's like, they're like scenes and it's weird because it doesn't bother me, but it's because I'm not used to it. It's almost like seeing when nudity was first on TV, even like NYPD Blue. Yeah. I remember NYPD Blue, like,
they showed ass. Oh my God!
Yeah, ass. Well, they said the word ass. Remember, or you're a dick. Like, it's just something that I don't care and it doesn't bother me at all. But I'm still not used to it. So when I see it, there's still sort of like an uncomfortability of like.
You want to break away from the uncomfortability? Just watch Brokeback Mountain.
I've never seen that.
Oh my God, it's the most uncomfortable movie to watch. But if you can get through it, then you can pretty much get through anything.
Right, and it's not like you care. It's not like they shouldn't be kissing. Like, I'm actually happy because I love Lafayette. Lafayette is one of my favorite characters ever. Right?
Too.
He's awesome.
100% ever.
And Jason Stackhouse too, another one, great character.
Yes. I agree.
So I'm happy that Lafayette found someone, and I'm like, yeah, Lafayette, go bang that guy.
Oh, no.
But then when you see it, it's like, bang him, but off camera. I'm not sure I can.
Imply, writers, imply.
But eventually it'll be, the more and more. And that's why I applaud that. That's why I liked your show, because it was cool. It was like, it reminded me of Sex and the City, but it was like, I don't know if is soft porn accurate. I don't know if that's an accurate way to describe it, but it was.
Yes, I mean, I would say so. That it definitely falls into like the softcore category. It's just I'm not sure if there's softcore that they're actually really doing stuff, but you just don't show it. I think that there's different levels.
No, yeah, most of the times, like when I see those movies, especially you ever see those like from the '80s, like you can tell it was shot in the '80s because the hairdos and stuff. Sometimes you see them in those movies, and they're like, and it's got a storyline. It's like the husbands the couples go away for like a retreat. and then they swap wives, and it's all nice, and they have a storyline. They're trying to act and stuff, and I don't think they're actually having sex anyway. So it's the same kind of thing.
Well, that's what softcore porn is.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what they'll do, not that I speak from experience, but a lot of times they'll take real porn and zoom in and cut out the genitalia parts, and they'll just show the facial reactions or just show the top half. But true soft porn, as it's shot, is you're not actually having sex, and you're just implying it, and you're just seeing the bodies minus the vagina and the penis.
Yeah. And there's obviously the storyline, so which is cool. So,
but here's a question.
Don't forget about that storyline.
I like the storyline. I don't know. I had this argument with Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard because he has his own porn. Yeah, do you know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Evan, he has he's big into porn. He has his own company and puts out his own videos. Yeah. And he was telling me, he goes, I don't want a story in my porn. If I want a story, I watch Star Wars. If I want porn, I want to see, the glory shots, all right? And I'm like, he goes, but some people
totally
love that.
Sounds like that too.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to. But he said, some people those sell too. So a lot of people like I like one of my favorites is this one called Pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
Yeah. And it's all.
I haven't seen that, but I always I want to.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Hey, come over. We'll watch it together.
There you go. Movie night.
You bring the popcorn.
That's the one that has like Jesse James,
yes.
right?
Yeah. It's all like the Vivid Girl, like all the upper scale.
Exactly.
Krista Ayne,
because I had a message from, I don't know if it was a producer or anything, but they got in touch with me asking me to audition for like either the second one or the third one, and I was like, thank you, I appreciate it so much. Out of all the porn, if I had to pick one, I'd be in that one, but it's just not, I don't want to be in a porn anyway. But I guess if you had to be in one, that wouldn't be
just so you know, you made the right decision because the second one sucks.
Does the second one not even have any?
There's no sex. There's no sex. It's like all story, and there's very, very little sex.
But they don't show. But it's like soft core again.
Yeah, and it's just weird. The first one I thought was a great balance because it was good porno scenes. And actually a cool storyline. Like the guy who's like the lead, I don't know his name.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's great. He looks kind of like
the long hair buff. He looks like Thor.
Do you know who that is, Krista? It's a guy who has long hair. He's really buff, and he's in all these like storyline movies, and he's pretty funny. And
you know who would know? Tony would know.
Yeah, our friend Tony is into that. But anyway, it's like I actually like they had special effects, like they were fighting skeletons and stuff.
Wait, I say forget the skeletons. Let's get back to our date night. So you let's do this. You come down, you bring the popcorn, we'll bring the butter.
Well, you got to bring a friend though. Can you bring a friend?
I'm sure I can bring a friend.
All right. Wait, but hold on. Here's the real question. Who are you bringing the friend for? Me or Dave?
Dum.
Decisions. Well, you can't go wrong either way because we come from the same gene pool. So.
That is true. But now here's something I'm curious about because when we did our scene, we weren't simulating sex, so it was literally just more you were laying on top of me, and I had like a peach-colored G-string on. Remember how much?
Tell your secrets.
Well, it's interesting because when you watch it, you can't tell. It really looks like I'm completely naked.
You can't.
And a lot of that had to do with remember they were positioning your arm to kind of cover whatever part of the G-string was showing, all that kind of stuff. But now on your show, Life on Top. How is it? How do they do it? Obviously, they're not wearing a G-string, so is it just like a piece of cloth between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it like resembles like a beige sock.
Okay.
Type of thing. I don't know the exact technical term for it. And the girls would wear knee band-aids.
Oh,
interesting.
And then just cover.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it really is like that's actually big enough to cover like everything.
Oh yeah. Well, in David's case, a Band-Aid would cover him too. Like one of those little pinky Band-Aids. Yeah, a Band-Aid for warts would probably cover you too.
Quiet you over there.
Listen, his big muscles compensate for something. See, we're fighting for you now, Krista. Now the two brothers are fighting for your attention.
Listen, technically that's the biggest muscle I have, okay?
Yes. So listen, all right, I don't want to stay on the I do want to stay on nudity as long as possible, but I don't think that's the best thing to do because there's so much other stuff to talk about. So let's move on to, because the show is rock and roll and food, let's get to the rock and roll stuff. Now, someone might say, well, why is she on? Just because she was on Z-Rock or just because she, is hot and she's naked on TV or whatever? And I say that is not why. That's part of it. But the real reason is that you have some pretty awesome rock and roll history in your history.
Well done. Let your co-host take over.
As you can see, I am definitely not suited. There's no reason that I should be having my own podcast because I can't even speak English.
You have a lot of history in your history.
But for real, I remember seeing on your website, you were on the cover of, I know you were on Guitar World. I know you were on Rolling Stone, which was the big one with Kid Rock. How fucking awesome is that? And
it was really awesome. That's probably one of my biggest jobs, modeling-wise, like to date, for sure.
And Bret Michaels, right? You were on a Men's Athlete Quarterly with Bret Michaels. See, I have my info here. And well, tell me about the Kid Rock. That to me is the most interesting one. First of all, Rolling Stone, just to be on the cover of Rolling Stone at all is amazing. How did that happen?
Exactly. It's still sometimes I don't believe it because it happened really fast. Again, I went to a casting. I wound up booking the job, but I was almost, it was like surreal. Like I was like, really? Like Rolling Stone? Like even when I look at it, I still don't like believe it all the time. And then we shot like the next, I think it was like the next week. So it just happened so quick. And, but it was amazing. I mean, everyone was really fun to work with. They were really nice. You know, it was a very professional shoot and it was fun.
Did you have a chance to actually conversate with Kid or was it just like you shot it and that's it? Kid.
Oh, Bobby.
Yeah, what happened was What?
No, they're talking in the background. Guys, shush. Because she thinks that we're talking and then this is we're trying to be professional here. Damn it. No, we're actually trying to pull up the image so that because my producer's not sure what I'm talking about. So we got the image on the thing.
So they were really nice. I believe he had like an album coming out. So they said to us, you know, if everyone wanted to leave their information and that everyone that was on there would get like free tickets to go see a show the following week. So that was really fun.
Did you go?
And yeah, I went to the after party. I mean, fortunately enough, like we've actually remained like friends since then. So
can you get ZO2 on tour with Kid Rock?
That's the goal. That's the mission.
Well, come on. I mean, I put you on my podcast, so you owe me. I mean, that's about an equal trade, no? I think that's an equal trade. You do my radio show, and then
if I could, that would be fun. I totally would. I would love to see you guys on that tour.
Speaking of that, you can. We're playing the New York on September 24th. How about that?
Yes.
You like that segue for a co-host, huh?
Ah, nice. Very nice. Yeah, we have a big show coming up. I'll give you the info. But let me ask you a question.
Do you online?
Yes. Well, yeah, everything's on the website, but I'll personally give you the info. I'll come to your house. I'll give you
along with a copy of Pirates.
Yeah, I'll bring my copy of Pirates and I'll have the info printed out. No, but as far as music wise, like, are you a fan of rock music? Like, are you into it?
That's definitely when I go. See, I listen to music depending on, I guess, like where I am. Like when I'm home, like my choice of music is definitely rock. Like any kind of rock. I don't really have, I mean, I prefer alternative rock, but I'll listen to anything. And then when I'm out, if I'm in a club or a lounge, I guess it's just like a combination of things. But yes, I definitely.
But do you like the old school stuff? But like the style that we play, like is that something that you enjoy, or is it like if you didn't know us and you weren't on Z-Rock, because obviously that makes a difference because you're like, oh, those are my buddies. But like if you didn't know, like, is that something you would listen to, like that Aerosmithy Zeppelin kind?
Yes, I mean, I listen to, actually, it's funny because I actually listen, your songs always wind up coming on my shuffle when I'm working out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like very, like, inspiring. It's like very inspiring.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
But
Nice.
I definitely, like, of course, I listen to you guys because I'm friends with you, but it doesn't mean that I would have to listen to you guys all the time. Like, I just listen to it once because I was friends with you, but I kept listening to it because I really did like it.
Oh, cool.
So,
well, now, yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. Just because,
especially the songs that I sing, right?
Yeah, she's like, oh, God. Do you see this brotherly competition here? We're trying to woo you.
Is it working? Are we wooing?
I like being wooed.
You like being wooed?
Yeah, how about this? Woo!
Wait, you know what? Here, let's play.
I didn't say that to a bunch of musicians.
Hold on one second. All right, Krista, we're gonna do something because we this is. the only other girls that I've had on the podcast, I think the only girl I've had on besides you was Joan Rivers.
There you go.
So, right,
Wow.
Alex? I think, well, because, it's a more,
I almost gave away the next.
yeah, no, but that happened already, obviously. So, yeah, no, well, the Dolly Rots were on 2 episodes ago, but still, that was her and a guy. So, yeah, I guess so. So but the thing is,
very honored.
yes, you're the first really huh? You were definitely by far the hottest guest that we've
Out of
had.
her and Joan Rivers.
Yes,
Nice.
between you and Joan Rivers, you are definitely the hottest.
I just went up in points. Thank you very much for.
No, but you know what? What I wanted to do, I thought would be kind of fun. Why don't we do this? Me and David are going to both describe if we took you out, if you gave us both a shot on a date, we're going to describe now what our date would be. Is that all right?
Okay.
We're gonna-
And wait, do I get to pick the one that I like the best?
Yes.
And then she has to go on.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you have to
There's
actually.
no reflection though. Okay, there's no reflection on who I like better. I'm just gonna do it by the date.
Oh,
just so you
okay.
know.
Well, do you? All right. Well, that begs for me to answer ask
He's
this
fumbling
question
already.
Yeah,
It begs the blahs and the blahs.
Yes, I'm very distracted right now. Then my next question is actually, so does that mean that you already have it in your head which one you like better? Is that already preconceived? Is it safe to say?
No.
After all this time that you know us, you're telling me if you had to choose,
Whoa!
you can't. Well, you
Hey,
wouldn't.
end the podcast now.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on the
See you on
Paulie Show.
episode 69.
All right. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You wouldn't be the first. Oh.
Oh my God.
Listen, we have a sordid past. We really do.
That's embarrassing me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, you got to understand something. We don't drink.
You will be the cream to our Z Brothers sandwich.
We don't drink. We don't smoke. We don't do drugs. All our fans know that. But you got to have. Everyone's got a vice. Everyone's got a dirty secret. And for us, we love to eat. Like food is our thing. And girls, like that's always been our motivation. Because after a show, if we don't get off on shooting up or drinking or whatever, what else do you do? Like for us, we
don't get off on shooting up. We get off on shooting off.
Oh yeah. Well, all
I
right.
was waiting for something. I was like, does he know he's saying that?
These
We
two-
don't get off on shooting up.
All right.
We get off on shooting
All right,
off.
you
That's
ready?
like his history of your history.
All right. So she has no idea. It's a clean slate. It could be any one of us. Could be the next Krista Ayne man. All right. So let's see what happens. All right, Dave, you want to go first or should I go first because I'm older?
You go first. You're older.
All right. Well, I could say everything I say that's stupid, you're going to fix.
It's your podcast, brother.
All right. Oh, jeez, this is a lot of pressure here. And we don't know anything she likes. That's the problem. So I'm just guessing. All right. Well, I'm going to just be honest then because then that's my best shot. I like to date. Well, I'm going to be honest. So I love dinner. So I would probably, first I would take you to a dinner. Nice place.
In a restaurant.
Yeah, restaurant, but not like uber
No,
fancy.
but I'm
That's
saying
kind
like
of
what kind of food?
probably Italian. I think I would either go Italian or I would go maybe like Japanese, like sushi, but only if I knew you liked it. You know what I mean? Because some people maybe not into it, but I would go something like that, something where it's not like overly heavy.
You're
but it would
taking
be-
your date to eat fish?
Oh, yeah. I see. You can see the difference between us already. And then, actually, maybe she does need both of us because we represent the two sides of man. All right, so we're going to dinner first, and then we go back to my place.
Oh, jeez.
Nicely done.
Well, at least you're being honest.
No. I probably no. I like. Here's my thing. I'll be very simple. I like dating, so I like to go out and I like to talk. We'd probably walk around the city, maybe go depending on the day. If it was a daytime thing or nighttime thing, we'd go to the park, hang out, we'd talk. Probably a lot of talking. But I would be very, very slow in my method to getting you to wooing you. I wouldn't be very aggressive, but it would lead eventually to an aggressive end. Because what I would do is little by little, like I'd grab your hand, hold your hand just to get the comfortability of the touch. And then I'd pull you in closer as it got a little cool. I'd put my arm around your arm to keep you warm. And I'd make sure that it was a day that was kind of cool. And I'd throw your jacket away so that you would be like, someone took my jacket. I'd say the waiter stole it. So you wouldn't have your jacket, so you'd be cold. And then
So you're going to be stealing from your girl.
yeah.
Nice.
And then
Right.
So it's going to cost her money.
yeah, and then I would probably take you back either to your place or my place. And, you know, I know I wouldn't like find a cheesy way to get in. Like I have to use the bathroom. I'd just be like, you know, I have to use your phone.
Dude, what is going on?
This is why I didn't want to go first.
Hold on. You need to go on the Pickup Artist show, man. What is going on here?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this whole thing. I'll have you come to a ZO2 show. Here's what
That's your date, right?
Let me just do what I normally do. I'll have you come to a ZO2 show. You'll see me sing on stage. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. That's basically what I do. I don't really have to do much. And once someone sees me on stage, it kind of just.
So like always, I win by default. Right? I don't even have to say anything.
Did I just screw up any chance I had with that pathetic description of a date?
No, you know what? Look, the best date, honestly, to do is really just to go at midnight, go to a beach, go skinny dipping in the water, and lay on the sand till the sun comes up. Perfect. You have everything. You have the romance.
Where's the food?
The girl.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. You have to decide, basically, between me and Dave. Dave is the
here's the
Dave's the hardcore porn, and I'm the softcore porn.
Here's the choice. Like. Lose your jacket and let him use your phone, or lay naked on the sand watching the sunrise.
Wait a second. Who said I wouldn't do that to him?
It's hard because, like, I would definitely.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Like, I definitely do like dinner because if it's someone that, it also depends on if it's someone like you know or not. Like if I just met someone, I don't know if I would let them just bring me to like a random beach and just be like, come on, let's go to the beach at night. That sounds a little scary.
That's kind of what David does. Though.
Wait, but how has that worked for me my whole life? What's going on?
Because they saw you on stage.
Oh, that's right. I'm forgetting the stage bit.
We have to take that out of the equation. If someone didn't see us on stage, they don't have that like, oh, he's the guy on
If
stage.
someone didn't see us on stage, I'd be a eunuch.
Yeah.
I'd be a hermit, man.
Yeah, I think we'd both still be virgins. You crazy? That's all we got. That's our superpower right there. Well, that's the difference. Basically, I'm much more, with me, it's going to, just so you know, with both of us, it's going to end the same way. Just so you know, it still ends the same way. It's just, would you want to go to dinner and walk around?
You guys are very like, what if it doesn't end like that? What if I'm like, okay, bye, and just give you a kiss and like leave and be like, okay, I'll talk to you like this week. How do you know that you're definitely going to be like coming to my apartment? I'm definitely going to be coming to yours.
Well,
I tell
it'll happen.
It'll happen, Jerry.
Well, let's assuming that it ends the same for both, whether it's a kiss on the cheek or not. Assuming it's
I would say that I would go for the one with like dinner and drinks and stuff. Maybe not the part of the stealing of the jacket, but
I was making that up. It was a joke. It was a joke. I wouldn't steal your jacket. I'm a dinner guy. I'm going to be honest and whatever. If you're not into it, you're not into it. But I'm definitely a dinner and a movie kind of guy. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, because like you're able to see, like I would say the beach one for maybe like the third date.
All right.
Well, there you go. Go on a date with Paul 2 times and then jump ship.
Wait, so me and you will go out. She'll kiss me on the cheek and then she'll be like, call David up and like, all right, let's bang. Oh, no.
There you go.
The story of my life. Damn you and your muscles. What?
That's why I said I need both.
Whoa.
Well, she said that already. When you say whoa.
I forgot.
It gets me every time.
It was 7 minutes ago. I forgot. All right. Well, listen, Krista, before we go, I just want to ask you one last question. Food-wise, just tell me if we were going to if I'm going to take you out to dinner, where would you want to go? What's a place that you like? Let's stick to maybe New York. A restaurant that you just say, this is like one of my favorites. I love it. And this is what I usually get. Go.
Yeah. My favorite restaurant is Philippe.
Okay.
I love, because my favorite types of food are probably like Japanese, Italian, or Mexican, but it also depends on
Japanese,
like,
Italian. Hold on. You just said Japanese, Italian. And where did I say I would take you?
I know, but I didn't want to laugh and give it away right away. I was going to wait.
I'm just saying maybe this was meant to be. But go
ahead.
Yeah, but his Italian is like Papa John's.
Because Philippe is like that Asian fusion, so it's not necessarily just based on like sushi. It's everything, but to me, it's amazing. Like I can go there. I think I eat there probably like once a week, and I never get sick of it. We usually order like the same things, and it's just amazing.
Well, what do you recommend? So, because one thing I do is, I have everyone recommend something so that the listeners, if they go there, they'll be like, oh, okay, I remember she said that, so I'll try that. So,
yeah, I definitely recommend the squab and the lettuce wraps, and the Mr. Chang noodles. And I mean, I have my whole entire list of stuff. The duck is amazing, but I don't know, if everyone likes that. We actually just started getting, because I go with my aunt a lot, we just started getting the duck salad, really good, and the chicken in the peanut sauce. I mean, every single thing is good there, but
these sound
those are probably the top.
These sound like appetizers, though. What about like an entree, though?
Well, what we usually do is, the best thing to do there is to go and you order a bunch of things and you share.
Oh, okay.
Because there's so many amazing things on the menu that you just limit yourself to one appetizer and one entree each person, you're kind of missing out.
Right.
Well,
so that's why that I say when we go, like, we'll order, let's say, like, 5 different appetizers. Everyone will share, depending on how big your group is.
Right. Well, I order 5
For
appetizers.
course, there's like the sea bass. Literally everything's amazing.
They have sea bass?
You know where they have really good sea bass? Hey, Krista Ayne.
Sauce and half with garlic.
You know where they have really good sea bass, don't you? In the ocean on the beach.
Oh, Jesus. All right. On that note, well, listen, now you know what we'll do? We'll double date, me and you, and then you bring your aunt for David. And then
Fantastic.
and then we'll go to Philippe. And we'll see what happens. All right. Well, listen, Krista, I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for being on the show. Did you have fun?
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
And you know what we'll do is we'll have our date, and then we'll review it next time, and you can come on and say, you can tell everyone if it was good or not. Actually, maybe you should go one with me, one with Dave, and then we'll see what happens.
And you compare?
Yeah, and then we'll
we
bring
should
it back
call
on.
up and get a new show. It could just be a dating show just for the 3 of us.
Yeah, dating the Z Brothers. That's a whole show.
That would be funny.
That would be like The Bachelor, but instead you go out, you do a date with both of the brothers. Actually, we get all 3. You have to do 3 dates, and then you pick out which date you like the best, and that's it.
And there you go.
And there it is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's it. That's it. You just tell us.
That would be a pretty fun show.
All right. Well, Krista, I want to thank you again for being on the show, and I implore everybody to check out her, all the stuff that she's doing. Do you want to plug your website real quick?
Sure. It's just krista-anne.net.
And the Anne is AYNE, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I don't drink, but if I did, my drink would be sex on the beach. You know that.
Yeah.
It really would.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for ending that segment with another crappy joke. Now,
you like my cliffhangers?
All right. Now we're going to move on to our other guest of the day. This will be his second time on the show. I got a lot of rave reviews from his first appearance. I'm talking about it's Dr. Pastrami.
Correct.
Dr. Pastrami, say hi.
Hi, how's everybody doing out there in Pastrami land?
We're doing good.
we're hungry.
Pastrami land. Well, you know what? First of all, I think we should. I don't think we mentioned it when you were on the first time, Doctor. That people don't know. I figured since David's here, we might as well just reveal the truth.
Let the pastrami out of the bag.
Yeah, I'm going to let people know how do we know you. Dr. Pastrami is actually our Uncle Gary. And for anyone who doesn't know, our uncle is actually a musician himself. And he's been putting out some pretty awesome music videos lately. And he has a new record out and stuff. And because he's like us, we have the same blood, obviously, and the same desires. We love our food so much that we thought, okay, well, why don't we get Gary on and have someone to talk about the food with? Obviously, Dave, if you were here more often, then I wouldn't need Dr. Pastrami.
But another interesting little tidbit, when people asked us what the name ZO2 means, when we say our father and uncle were in a band back in the 70s, that's Gary. It was him, my father, and an Italian drummer named Joe called Z.
Right.
So that's kind of where, this is our second version of that, Z Mach 2.
Yeah, so, well, there you go. So now you have the history of Dr. Pastrami. Now, Dr. Pastrami, what are we going to talk about today? What
Well, I
restaurant?
just want to let you know, even though I am Gary Z, their uncle, I changed my moniker to Dr. Pastrami because I have a degree in culinary gastronomy.
I think it's culinary, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
That works better.
Gastronomy. Yes. We've experienced your gastronomy when you come over our house. But well, where did you go? You said you went to Virgil's this weekend, right?
Yes, and I must start out by saying that I was not blown away.
Well, all right. That's interesting you say that because I think I don't know if I agree or disagree necessarily. I see why you would say that. But all right, well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I had just wanted to say, since you brought up the family history, that I think the reason I was not blown away is because of my experiences being introduced to ribs in general. I just think that I finally found out after eating at Hill Country, which was brought to my attention through you, which is an excellent restaurant, and I would even say Virgil's is an excellent restaurant, but I just happen to think that I am not into dry rubs. For those of the audience that don't know what that is, I'm sure you can explain the difference to them between dry and wet rubs.
Well, David, it's
I think
funny.
we just did with Krista Ayne, no?
Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about that. Well,
I didn't say dry hump.
David, it's funny because I know David wasn't, in the beginning when we went to Hill Country and even Virgil's, it was like, oh my God. But then quickly David was like, I was like, I really don't like it. I think I just got into the whole, excitement of it. But right, you're not really a dry rub guy.
No, I lost my taste for it. I mean, I definitely prefer, loads of barbecue sauce. But I'm like that with all condiments. Like when I have a sandwich, I want more mayonnaise than I want meat. I'm just kind of like I drown everything in ketchup, mayo, mustard, barbecue sauce. That's just my thing. I like that. So then when it's dry, it's just very, I don't know. And especially that smoky taste, I feel like I'm in a sauna. That's what it smells like to me.
It's more
funny, interesting you should say that because that even coming out of Virgil's, it lingered on my clothes.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. But the thing is that I'm learning is that the condiments, like if you think about when, like if a chef saw you put ketchup or mayo on their dish, like they're insulted, like because it really does detract from the actual dish. So if you have to load something up with barbecue sauce, that means the meat itself is not good enough. So when I have something like a really good piece of steak, let's say, like filet mignon, I don't put anything on it because that meat is so good and the way they season it's so good, and that's why I like the dry rub more. Even though Dr. Pastrami, I got to get used to that. I'm like you because we grew up also with. I didn't even know dry rub until Hill Country.
Or not even that. You're talking about steak. Our mom used to make steak, and she still does. She doesn't make those thick, meaty steaks. She makes I guess they're skirt steaks.
Yeah.
Very, very thin, and they have saucy Susan on them, duck sauce. They have all different kind of seasonings on it and different kind of sauces on it.
Very wet.
Very, very wet. So that's what I was used to. That's what I grew up with. So even I can and Gary, you've been over our house a billion times.
Yes.
Gary has been over our house. Doctor has never been.
We have to keep his secret safe.
This is like Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know who's.
But also remember I'm born and bred on the Lower East Side, and all you had nothing but was in the Chinese restaurants on a Sunday night was nothing but Jews.
Right.
And what happened is that was my first experience to ribs. So right off the bat, the texture is only meat on the sides, some sort of glaze. And then I wanted to bring to your guys' attention that what I think, I'm not sure to everybody in New York City, but one of the first other rib joints was Beefsteak Charlie's.
Yes, I remember that. And Tony Roma's, too. Tony Roma's.
Right, and they had the baby back ribs with the glaze.
Right.
So now, all of a sudden, years later, you hear about Hill Country, which, by the way, I wanted to just mention that they use a post oak wood for smoking that thing. It's called Texas post oak. And Virgil's uses hickory oak and fruit woods. So now you're getting into this whole concept of wood, actual wood burning underneath. And this style and the difference between Texas, Memphis, Kansas City, which is the wet rubs,
right,
and North Carolina.
Is Kansas City, Kansas City is the only one that's wet, Rob?
From what I've seen here, yes,
Right.
Kansas City is. But this is why I just want to interject this real quick. I am on a mission to check out this place called Blue Smoke.
Oh, I'm going next week.
Okay, because what you had mentioned earlier about not dosing something with sticky syrups, I want to see what a professional joint does with this.
Oh, why?
It's
'Cause
one
they're-
thing to go into BBQs or something and see like Heinz 57
Right.
sauce or something on it. I think what happens is the constant smearing of the barbecue sauce will eventually soak in, and you're only going to get a soft glaze on your fingertips to lick.
Right. Well, yeah. Again, there is a difference between a professionally glazed barbecue rib and the cheaper joint. So,
Is it just me, or is this whole conversation mimicking our conversation with Krista Ann? Talking about glaze on your fingers, licking it off. Talking about wood burning underneath. My Lord.
Licking is a
smearing.
universal topic.
all right. Well, listen. Before we run out of time, Dr.
Yes.
Pastrami, tell me
Yes.
what you ordered that day at Virgil's and what you liked and what you didn't like. Go ahead.
Well, I started out with the train wreck fries, which I was
Good
trying to mimic after the Outback's little fries with the cheese and the thing
Yeah.
like that.
What'd you think?
I thought that it was overkill. It was just they brought this giant sizzling pan. I don't know how you could eat one of these or even share it and have room for the ribs.
Oh,
I thought the
I
ribs.
ate those myself. I loved it.
I was thinking about that. And basically what it is I feel that the Memphis pork ribs had more meat on them than Hills Country's pork ribs. And I have to say that I do like their pork ribs better than Hill Country's pork ribs, only because it had more succulent meat.
Right.
But I thought that if it would have had more of the beefier type smoked quality of the Hill Country one.
Right. The beef rib at Hill Country he's talking about.
Right. It was
Yeah.
almost like if you would have taken that smoking process and put it on the pork ribs of the Virgil's, I think that would have been the epitome.
You know
of
what
it.
you'll like? You should try Daisy Mays. It's on, I think it's like 40.
I ate at Daisy Mays.
And did you like it?
A little closer to what I envision in my mind.
Right. It's similar to Virgil's, but I think it's a little bit better. Here's what I have on my list over here on my phone. Dave, you tell me if you remember, from when you've been there, what you think. I actually only have things to order. I don't have anything on my don't order list. So the things that I say I recommend are the ribs. I think the ribs are great. The pulled pork I liked. The steak salad. If you want to go for a salad.
This is on Virgil's?
Yeah, Virgil's. Remember the steak salad?
That's the only thing that I liked.
Really?
Yeah, because you had the meat, but it wasn't overkill. It was just there as a complement to the actual salad.
Right.
So I dug that.
The steak salad is great, and I love the train wreck fries. The grilled veggies are good, even though it's just veggies, but they have it's not like your typical grilled veggies. They put some seasoned a different way, and the collard greens are great, and the best, which is it's like dream come true, the banana pudding. Did you have that when you were there, Doctor?
I didn't have the banana pudding, but I must say I was disappointed again in Virgil's in this sense because I bought a special order, a special entree of brisket.
Right.
Did not hold a candle to
Hill Country. No, yeah, after eating Hill Country brisket, I don't think I would order brisket anywhere else.
I'm thinking any barbecue joint should pride themselves on this. I actually thought, believe it or not, that Katz's brisket was a better choice and more succulent than Virgil's brisket.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever tried it, but I would agree probably because I think I've seen other people have it. It didn't look great. I would
Very
say,
dry, fat around the edges, no marbleization, and they actually had sauce on that. So I don't know what was up with that. They actually had some sort of glaze on that, which didn't pull it out of the fire.
Well, I think the moral of the story here is if you're at Virgil's, stick to the ribs. The ribs are worth getting, I think, either way. I think we're all kind of saying that the meat itself, the quality is good. If we're not comparing, let's say, if you find yourself at Virgil's, go for the ribs. I say the pulled pork is another good option, and that steak salad is great. You'll love it. And the train wreck fries, again, if you don't have to finish it all, but I think it's a good thing to share with people because it's fun. It's definitely it's overkill, but it's it's the American way.
Sort of the point.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. And then get the the banana pudding at the end. I'm telling you, that's like
David.
a happy ending.
Yes, sir.
So you're kind of like me in the sense that your taste bud leans to more of a wet Kansas City type thing. This almost reminds me of what we spoke about on the last episode I was on, where we mentioned about the thinly cut pastrami as opposed to the fatty Katz's. I'm thinking that it's almost like that. I don't think it's saying that anything is less professional or less tasty, or restaurant being professional and the food being less tasty, as opposed to what your taste buds are used to.
100%, 100%. Yeah, because even when you get sliced deli meat, you know, we like it sliced, Paulie and I like it sliced super, super thin, almost, paper thin, because for whatever reason, it actually tastes different when you get them as thick slices. The taste is actually,
I can't eat it.
Yeah, it doesn't taste right.
I'm grossed out. Like if you slice a piece of ham, boar's head ham, and it's a little thick, I'm grossed out. Actually,
yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, the best sandwich I had actually was invisible.
Right. And on that note, that's the perfect way to end the show. Dr. Pastrami, we love having you on. Thank you very much.
Okay, then.
Right,
have a good time, fellas.
Thank you. And we'll pick another place for the next one. And maybe I'd like to do something together. Actually, maybe we'll talk about, we had gone to a German place called Heidelberg, right?
Yes.
So maybe we'll talk about that on the next one. But hopefully we can try some new places before then, so we have something to something to reference next time. Okay?
Something to sink our teeth into.
Yes, something to sink our teeth into. Good.
And if you're looking for a leader in the food army, call Dr. Pastrami.
Yes. And there you go. Well, listen, that ends this podcast. If you want to get this episode and the other episodes, they are free, and you can download them on iTunes or at thepauliezshow.com. And you can also follow our band ZO2 at our website, which is zo2.com, or our MySpace, which is myspace.com/ZO2. And our Facebook is facebook.com/ZO2band. And my Twitter is twitter.com/ZO2Paulie. Okay? And also, if you want to email me, my email for this show in particular is yopaulie@thepauliezshow.com. And I read... Just trust me, I read all the emails. I don't always get a chance to read them on the air, but I definitely read them, and I try to reply to as many as I can. So just keep them coming, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. That's number 40 in the bag. 40 shows. Woo! Wow. That's pretty impressive. All right, people. Later.